Okay. I believe last time I played Minecraft and just sat here and spoke, I was in a much, much worse state in terms of just my general I mean I want to say living situation, but it was more like just life in general, I guess. I was I was going through it at the time, and that I mean shit was rough, but it's whatever, you know? It's been a hot fucking minute. I don't even remember if I had shaders on this world. I might have. I don't know. But I decided that tonight it's about fucking it's 10:54 p.m. on a random fucking Wednesday. I just got home a little bit ago from going out. I watched the sunset a lot. I'll throw some pictures up if I remember while editing. It's been pretty nice. I don't really hang out with anyone, but something about going out alone and not being cooped up in the house is nice. It's a good vibe. I don't know if I'm gonna do any sort of edits for this or try to have fun with it. Might just be like the last one where I kind of just let it flow, let myself speak, let the dead air stay dead air, at least for the most part. I'm not sure, but I just felt like recording something. I wanted to put something out. I kind of like the idea of maybe keeping these I guess this world specifically, just this Minecraft fit, like making it a sort of buffer for me between whenever I don't really want to do a high, I don't want to say high value. I guess a high effort video. This feels like more something where I just feel like chilling and not worrying about the quality of content being insanely high, you know? It feels better that way, knowing that as soon as this is done, I can go through and just cut and maybe do a few things if I feel like it, and not really have to worry about what I'm actually saying or doing. Because really, that's I mean, I wish that's what I could do with my content, but I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to my videos that I can't just let it be something easy or simple, you know? I guess I guess it wouldn't even be perfectionism really. It would more just be I don't want I don't want to not put effort into something that I create, or not put as much effort, because at the end of the day, this is something I enjoy doing, and I have fun with the editing process. The problem for me really just lies on the time sink, but with recent developments, I guess I have gained more time overall, so I might get a little more done this year instead of doing my average fucking 2 videos every year and a half, you know? I've been told a few times to try out streaming or whatever. Just I guess that general content style where it's just you sit there and just talk back and forth with your chat. But that's kind of just not how I am as a person. I'm not good with just sitting and talking it. I guess this is fucking ass backwards to say, but I'm not great at sitting and talking to nothing. I guess the way I'm doing it right now is I don't know, I just yap and I don't know, it's nice to get the thoughts out, you know? But with streaming, it's more of I can't just cut shit that I don't want to be heard, you know? Because this, I can say whatever the fuck, and then later on, I can just be like, no, I didn't want that to be said. I didn't want that to be heard, and I can just get rid of it. I also just feel like a proper video is something like I guess in a way it kind of sits in the same area where it's like something that I have complete control over. Like I decide how this is all laid out. I decide how it's cut. I decide how I am presented in the video rather than a stream where literally I just get to send multiple hours of footage of me doing and saying whatever the fuck just into the ether that is the internet and letting it float around. I guess even then saying that, like, just this sitting and, like, playing and talking isn't my general content style. My content style is more, at least what I would like to think it is more like I get on a game with some friends, I guess for, like, the fucking 2 people that have bothered to watch the Overwatch video I made like a month or so back, something like that. Kind of like that. I guess like your Vanos Gaming, Russian Badger type, you know? Just like getting on a game with some friends and just like fucking around for a while. Just letting the jokes fly, you know? It's still something that I have complete control over, but it feels like more value in terms of content for me. Because while I like I watch a lot of video essays and shit on YouTube. I watch a lot of like video essays and shit on YouTube when I'm like bored, just like doing whatever. So I guess this content style of just sitting and like talking about something it's enticing to me, but it's not personally what I prefer to put out. Granted, I've thought here and there about like doing a video essay or just like rant videos in general because it's fun, you know, it's enjoyable to sit there and just talk about something that at least I personally enjoy. You know, kind of like your Zephyr's, Blank Boy, shit, who else? I don't know. I guess, I don't even remember dude's name. CJ. Like that kind of shit, where they just, like, look at shows or, like, movies, or hell, even sometimes just ranting about anything that they feel like. Like, it's an enjoyable content style, but it's just not me, I guess. That's not what I like to do. At least not in terms of, like, content. I guess it kind of, like, is to a point where unconsciously I kind of feel like every video I make needs to be, like, my magnum opus. Like, that needs to be the video of all videos that I've made. And I think that's kind of where my problem lies with making content, where, like, I'll make a video and I enjoy the process of making it, but then I get to a point where I'm like, well, this isn't, like, exactly what I was looking for, so I'll just drop it here and I'll come back to it later. But then later never comes until I get that random spark of motivation. So I don't know. I guess I'm just like, I'm too hard focused on making everything as perfect as I can, rather than just letting what I make be imperfect and, like, not exactly what I'm after. I guess with, like, editing being the time sink that it is, it's also, like, I guess more recently, I haven't been inside, like, cooped up at my computer as much. So I guess I'm, in a way, giving myself less time to do this, despite the fact that I enjoy it. Which necessarily isn't bad, but it's like I'm using whatever time I've gained to instead spend it going out alone and just, like, doing whatever the fuck I feel like, rather than actually putting my effort towards something that I genuinely enjoy, and something that is, like, in all honesty, probably the only possible, I guess, not career path, but, like, the best possible thing for me in terms of just, like, it, not inevitably, but, like, I guess it's like the best thing for me in terms of, like, oh, I can do something I enjoy and also make money from it, because schooling has never been something that I'm big into. Like, didn't go to college, didn't even finish high school. Like I'm a little cooked when it comes to the real world. But it's like, I personally I don't actually have an issue with like not finishing high school or like not going to college, at least for the most part. I've had times where I'm like, damn, maybe I should go back. Maybe I should get my GED and then go further. But there's nothing that I'm interested in terms of schooling. There's nothing. It actually feels like there's just nothing there for me because there's nothing that I actively want to pursue aside from just the general freelance shit that I do. But like, I don't really know. I don't exactly know where I begin with that. Also, I guess to dive back into like the being in a bad headspace or like not being at my best or not being like as happy as I could have been. The last time I made a video, the fuck was that? The last time I made a video, just like playing Minecraft and talking, it's like, I don't know, I was like truly going through it. I wasn't enjoying my job, and granted, I'm still like not really, but there's good parts, I guess. And it's gotten easier. Weirdly, it's gotten easier the less I've started, or it's gotten easier the less I've given a fuck, I guess. It's like the job itself is light work. Like it's nothing compared to the jobs I've worked before, but it's just like, you know, it's people. It's people that are my problem. I don't like certain people. I don't like interacting with certain people or working with them. But like, it kind of comes with the territory. You're always gonna find someone you don't like. It's inevitable. But there are, I guess, better parts of the job. Uh, I've found things there that I actually like enjoy doing and find to be like genuinely good parts of the day, and that's better for me. That makes it better for me. So that's like improved my mental a lot. There's also just people there that I actually enjoy talking to and like interacting with. I don't know why, but I used to think that like the idea of going out and doing shit alone was just like I used to think it was a very depressing thing to do and like very sad and like boring. But I don't know. I've found an appreciation for it in looking at like sunset, because something about the sunset is just like it's 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 beautiful. Truthfully, like a it's a reminder that like it ain't all bad out there, you know? Like, not everything is gonna be terrible. There's good parts about being outside alone. I've had, like, family and shit kinda, I guess, question me going out alone, and, like, for a little bit, that made me feel uh, kind of like it should be more, I guess. Like I should be out with people or like just doing something more important with my time, but like it's really not what it's not what I just call them like walks. That's not what my walks are like about. It's more just for me to be able to go and like relax and get away. Like when it started, it was literally just for me to get out of my house and get away from all of my familial issues. I remember explaining it to a friend at one point that like at first it felt like when I left I was what the fuck? At first it felt like when I left like I had never really left the house. Like I was gone, but I was still very present and locked away here in a sense. It just didn't feel right to be outside, not like worrying about any responsibilities, I guess. But I slowly over time, that's kind of been lost in the not sense of freedom, but like the sense of normalcy it's gained because it feels better to be out there than to be stuck inside at all times. And for any friends I might have watching this, please don't think that, like, me not being in voice chats or, like, texting y'all is a sign that I'm pulling away. I'm not intentionally, or sorry, not intentionally, but, like, I'm not pulling away. I'm just actively kind of doing more with my time that isn't just me being stuck in my room. I guess the easiest way to put it is, like, it's more about me than it is, like, anything else. Because I never really enjoyed just being stuck at my computer at all times. It gets depressing. And I'd say that going out and just, like, chilling, watching the sunset has been a heavy help to that depressing feeling. Because now, when I get home, God, that voice crack. When I get home, it just feels like I'm, like, taking a break, I guess, from doing whatever the fuck outside. And it's not even all that much, really. It's more just, literally, I walk for, like, 20 minutes. I sit for maybe an hour and just, like, stare at the sky, maybe take some pictures, and then I come back home, and that's about it. I definitely have had my nights where, like, I leave and I'm gone for way longer than I should be. Well, not even longer than I should be, just longer than I had anticipated I would be gone for, I guess. I think the longest I've been gone is, like, 5 hours, something like that, because I just didn't feel like going back home. It just didn't, it wasn't time, I guess. And the time I'm gone fluctuates a lot. Like, I guess today I was gone for maybe, like, an hour and a half, something like that. But, like, then I'll have my nights where I'm gone, like, 2-3 hours, and then I come home, and, like, my family has to question where the hell I've been. There's something about just doing nothing alone, where, like, nobody can tell you to just go do something. Nobody can tell you to stop sitting around. It's nice. It's a good feeling. And I'm trying to experience it as much as I can without, like, letting anything get in the way of that, I guess. Because I guess, again, like, for a little bit, I felt like it should have been more something I was doing with people rather than just, like, going out alone and doing jack shit and fuck all. I mean, granted, if I wanted to go out and do something with people, then I could. I just prefer not to because I don't really care to hang out with people all that much. Unless it's, like, close friends, I guess. But I don't know many people well enough, at least, like, in the real world, or I guess just, like, in my area, that I would consider to be like, alright, I'm down to, like, chill with you for a while and, like, just do random bullshit. I definitely do need to stop worrying so much about the opinions of others around me. Because truthfully, I'm confident enough in my ability, or I guess I'm confident enough in the way I carry myself to just, like, post through shit and, like, not worry about what anyone's saying. But I'm very much one to try to keep up appearances, so I don't want to seem like I'm off the fucking rails, I guess, when it comes to talking to people or even just, like, the general shit I do day to day, you know? It's preferred that people don't think I'm, like, strange, I guess. I feel like for a while, I was like not necessarily going off the deep end, but like I was definitely uh I wasn't great, I guess. There's a video that I have it's either private or unlisted right now. That honestly I'm tempted to just make public so that it's just there, not necessarily like not as a thing to be like, oh look how sad I am or whatever. Just like I guess to show the duality between that and this to be like to like I guess explain my improvement in terms of my mental state or my mental health. I also feel like I've definitely been making more strides toward just doing shit that makes me happier rather than doing shit that appeases others. Depending on who you are seeing this, you probably know the actions I've taken to just cut off the loose ends that I'd prefer weren't there. Well, I'm not necessarily proud of them. I don't regret because it, it I mean it'd be a waste of time if I did regret my own actions. Because then at that point, like I may as well just go back on my word, you know? And that's not me. I'm too much of a stand on business kind of person to immediately backpedal and not agree with my own actions. If I can't agree with myself, then who can I agree with, you know? I guess it's also just kind of freeing in a sense to do something without actually worrying about others' opinions of it. Although, granted, I guess I would, in this scenario I'm speaking of, I guess, others' opinions are still important, but at least in terms of my own actions, they were not. Like, I fully just took charge of, like, my own shit and want to didn't want to have anyone else try to tell me how to deal with it, I guess. Although I have I've taken the time to clarify my actions rather than just letting it sit and be like, just like, oh, I did this bad thing for the sake of doing this bad thing. 'Cause, you know, I'm not one to sit and just like do bad shit for the sake of doing bad shit because it's just not me. I feel like some scenarios kind of call for that, although that heavily depends on the scenario. I guess with what I'm referring to, it's like it didn't necessarily call for that, but I still did what I did in spite of it not being entirely necessary. But I don't know, it's whatever to me. At this point, what's done is done, you know? Although I guess that doesn't necessarily mean I'm not remorseful for any issues I've caused as like a domino effect, because I am, you know, I just don't regret my own actions after the fact. I guess it's kind of random, but like, you know, music has been a very heavy help with like anything really. I feel like music can really set the mood, I guess. Not necessarily set the mood, because there's like two types of people when it comes to music. There's the ones who let the music affect them, and the ones who affect the music in a way. like music has different meaning for everyone, but at least for me personally, the way I'm feeling will determine what I'm actively listening to, rather than the other way around, where the music I'm listening to will heavily affect my mood. I don't know, depending on how you're feeling, I guess the right song can just like not not initially make things better, but it can help carry you through without having to think about much else. Something about just having like the lyrics or like just the feeling of the song like flow through your head rather than whatever you're thinking about is just it's nice. It's nice to have the music overshadow whatever I'm thinking about. Okay, I think that's where I'm gonna call it. Because I mean, it's been a long day. I've been up for way longer than I really intended, I guess. Oh shit, I want you to blow up.